Good morning, children. Welcome to the 12th standard zoology class, Unit 1, Chapter 2, Sexual Reproduction. Every organ system in our body works continuously to maintain the homeostasis. So, what is your homeostasis? Maintaining the constant internal environment of the body is called as a homeostasis. In the same way, the reproductive system is essential for the survival of the species, because if there is no reproduction, there is no life. So, what is your reproduction? Re means what? Again. Produce means what? Making. Every organism has a tendency to produce of its own kind, that is called as a reproduction. So this class we are going to learn about how to create an awareness about healthy reproductive life in the adolescents. Then spermatogenesis and the oogenesis. What is a spermatogenesis? Formation of the sperm is called as a spermatogenesis. And what is a oogenesis? Formation of the ovum, that is called as a oogenesis. Then a reproductive system of both the male and the female, the role of the hormones, then changes that takes place in the female body after the fertilization, then menstrual cycle, then what are the changes that takes place in the pregnancy time. Next we are going to learn about what are the functions of the reproductive system. The first function, to produce the gametes. So what is the first function? To produce the gametes. So the gametes, the male gamete is the sperm and the female gamete is the ovum or the egg. Okay. So what is the first function? To produce the gamete. Then second one, to transfer this gametes. So what is the second function? To transfer the gametes and sustain the gametes. So what do you mean by sustain means what? To strengthen the gametes. To produce a gametes. Second one, to transfer the gametes. Then third one, to nurture the gametes. That is, to give the nourishment to the gametes. That is called as a nurture. Then fourth one, to produce the hormones. What is the fourth one? To produce the hormone. So what are the functions of the reproductive system? First one, to produce the gametes. Second one, to transfer the gametes. Then third one, to nurture the gametes. And fourth one, to produce the hormones. The next we are going to learn about what are the important events that takes place in the reproductive system. So the first one is a gametogenesis. Gamete. What comes in your mind? Gametes. So what is a gametogenesis? The formation of the gametes. So what is a gametogenesis? The formation of the gametes, that is called as a gametogenesis. This production of gametes that takes place through the spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Already I said, what is a spermatogenesis? Formation of the sperm, that is called as a spermatogenesis. Then what is oogenesis? Formation of the ovum, that is called as a oogenesis. So gametogenesis means what? Formation of the gametes. Then second event is an insemination. What is the second event? Insemination, that is the deposition of the sperm into the female reproductive tract. The deposition of the sperm into the female reproductive tract, that is called as a insemination. Then a third one is a fertilization. So what is a fertilization? The union of both the male and the female gametes. The union of both the female and the male gamete, it results in the zygote. That is called as a fertilization. Union of both the male and the female gamete, that is called as a fertilization. Then fourth one is a cleavage. Here, this zygote is a single cell. The zygote is a single cell. It undergoes a repeated mitotic division. It undergoes a repeated mitotic division to form a multicellular blastocyst. To form a multicellular blastocyst. That is called as a cleavage. Can you understand? The cleavage is a repeated mitotic division. The single cell zygote undergoes a repeated mitotic division to form a multicellular blastocyst. Then a fifth one is an implantation. That is, this zygote attached to the uterine wall. The zygote is attached to the uterine wall. That is called as a implantation. Then a sixth one is a placentation. That is formation of the placenta. What is a placentation? Formation of the placenta. So this placenta is a intimate connection between the mother and the fetus. Then seventh one is a gastrulation. That is this blastocyst. Blastocyst is a multicellular. This blastocyst, it undergoes changes to form a three germ layers. That is called as a gastrula. Can you understand? So the multicellular blastocyst undergoes the changes to form a three germ layers. What are the three germ layers? Ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. So that is called as a gastrulation. Then eighth one is an organogenesis. Organogenesis means what? Formation of the organs. That is a specific tissues, organs and organ system. That is called as an organogenesis. Then partition is a expulsion of fetus from the mother's womb. So these are the major events that takes place in the reproductive system. So what is the first one? Gametogenesis. What is a gametogenesis? Formation of the gamete. What is an insemination? The deposition of the sperm into the female reproductive tract, that is called as an insemination. What is a fertilization? The fusion of both the male and the female gamete is called as a fertilization. Then what is a cleavage? Cleavage is a single cell. The single cell cleavage undergoes the repeated mitotic division to form a multicellular blastocyst. Then implantation, attachment of the zygote into the uterine wall. Then placentation, formation of the placenta. Gastrulation, the multicellular blastocyst undergoes the changes to form a three germ layers. What are the three germ layers? Ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Then organogenesis, formation of the organs. Then patriation, expulsion of fetus from the mother's womb. Next we are going to learn about male reproductive system. It's very easy and interesting also. So the male reproductive system consists of pair of testes, accessory duct. Accessory is nothing but the additional. Then accessory gland and external genitalia. So this genitalia is nothing but the external reproductive organ. So the male reproductive system consists of pair of testes, accessory duct or additional duct, then accessory gland, then external genitalia is a external reproductive organ. First we are going to learn about the reproductive system, that is a testes. So these testes are the primary male sex organ. Testes are the primary male sex organ. These testes are, they are paired, 2 in number. Then the shape, it is a ovoid and it lies in the scrotum. Where it lies in the scrotum. So this scrotum is nothing but the sac-like structure which lies outside of the abdominal cavity. You can ask me the question, why the scrotum lies outside? Because inside the scrotum only sperms are produced. That is, testis is present and here the sperms are produced. The sperms cannot produce at the normal body temperature. It needs 2 to 3 degrees Celsius lesser than our normal body temperature. Then only sperms can be produced. So the testes are the primary male sex organ. It is paired, ovoid and lies in the scrotum. This scrotum is nothing but the sac-like structure which lies outside of the abdominal cavity. And here the testes cannot produce at the normal body temperature. It needs 2 to 3 degrees Celsius lesser than our body temperature. Hence the scrotum, it acts as a thermoregulator. To produce the spermatogenesis, formation of the sperm. It's a 2-mark question. Why the scrotum acts as a thermoregulator? What's the reason? Because the sperms cannot produce at the normal body temperature. It needs the temperature lesser than our normal body temperature, that is 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. Hence the scrotum acts as a thermoregulator. Then one more question. Each testis, it is covered by a membrane that is called as a tunica albuginea. Say the term, tunica albuginea. It's a one mark question. Each testis is covered by a membrane that is called as a tunica albuginea. Then testis, it is divided into many lobulus. It is divided into many lobulus by the septa or by the partition. That is, it consists of 200 to 250 lobulus. The testis divided by partition or by the separation into 200 to 250 lobulus. Then each lobulus, it consists of 2 to 4 highly coiled seminiferous tubules. Highly coiled seminiferous tubules. The testes are covered by the membrane. It is known as what? Tunica albuginea. Then each testis divided into how many lobulus? 200 to 250 lobulus by the separation or by the partition or by the septa. Then each lobulus, it consists of 2 to 4 highly coiled seminiferous tubules or testicular tubules. Then each seminiferous tubules, it consists of two type of cells. One is a Sertoli cells. Say the term, Sertoli cells. It is otherwise called as a nerve cells. It is also one mark question. So what is the other name for the Sertoli cells? It is a nerve cells. First one is a Sertoli cells or the nerve cell, and second one is a Spermatogonia. It is a male germ cells. Each seminiferous tubules, it consists of two type of cells. What are they? Sertoli cells or nerve cells. Then Spermatogonia or the sperm or the male germ cells. Then first we'll see about the Sertoli cells. This Sertoli cells, it nourishes the sperm. The Sertoli cells, it nourishes the sperm, and it also secretes a hormone. That is called as a inhibin. It's a one mark question. Name the hormone secreted by the Sertoli cells. What is a hormone? Inhibin. The Sertoli cells secretes a hormone called as a inhibin, which it's able to control it shows a negative feedback mechanism. So what is a negative feedback mechanism? If the hormone increases or decreases, it can able to control it. So the Sertoli cells nourishes the sperm and secretes a hormone called as a inhibin. This Spermatogonia or the male germ cells, it undergoes a division to form as a spermatozoa or the sperm. That is, the Spermatogonia undergoes a repeated meiotic division to produce the sperm. Then Leydig, third one is a Leydig cells or the interstitial cells. Say the term, Leydig or interstitial cells. So this Leydig cells or the interstitial cells, which is embedded in the seminiferous tubules, it secretes a male sex hormone that is called as a testosterone. Can you understand? So the seminiferous tubules consist of two types of cells. What are they? Sertoli cells and Spermatogonia cells. Then this Leydig cells or the interstitial cell, which secretes a hormone called as a testosterone. It's a one mark question, male sex hormone. Then next we'll learn about the accessory duct. So what is your accessory? Accessory means what? Additional. So this accessory duct, it consists of reed testis. TE is silent. You have to pronounce it as a reed testis. Vasa efferentia. Say the term, vasa efferentia. Epididymis and vas deferens. So what are the accessory duct in the male reproductive system? Reed testis, vasa efferentia, epididymis and vas deferens. Next we'll see about the internal structure of the testis. So here, this is the seminiferous tubules. The seminiferous tubules is highly coiled and it converges. What do you mean by converges? It meet at a point. Tamil la sonna kuvindu. The seminiferous tubules, it converges, meet at a point to form a tubulus rectus. To form a tubulus rectus. Here the sperms are produced. And here, now where you can see the sperms in the tubulus rectus. From the tubulus rectus, the sperms are passed on to the reed testis. The seminiferous tubules is highly coiled to form a what? Tubulus rectus. From here, the sperms are sent to the reed testis. The reed testis is a highly coiled network structure which lies on the posterior side of the testis. And here, from the reed testis, the sperms now enter into the epididymis. Now enter into the epididymis. See the picture. This is the tubulus rectus. From here the sperms are sent into where? Sent into the reed testis. From here again the sperms are sent into the epididymis. So epididymis, it stores the sperms temporarily. And here when the sperms are stored temporarily, here the maturation of the sperms takes place, and second one is a movement of the sperms, and as well as the fertilizing capacity of the sperm increases. When the sperms are stored temporarily in the epididymis, what are the changes that takes place? First one is a physiological maturation of the sperm. Then second one is a motility, or that is a movement of the sperm. Then third one is a fertilizing capacity of the sperm increases. Now here, from here the sperms now enter into the vas deferens. From here the sperms enter into the vas deferens. Once again I say, understand? First one, where the sperms are produced in the seminiferous tubules. The seminiferous tubules is highly coiled to form a what? Tubulus rectus. Tubulus rectus, and from here it is the sperm sent into the reed testis. From here the reed testis into the epididymis. From here the epididymis, the sperms are enter into the vas deferens. This seminal, the vas deferens, it forms a duct. The vas deferens, it forms a joins a duct called as a seminal vesicle. From here the sperms are enter into the prostate gland. And then from here the prostate glands, the sperms enter into the urethra. Urethra is a common tract for both for the urine as well as for the to pass the sperms. It is a common opening for to pass the urine as well as to pass the sperms. And then there is a opening in the urethra. That is called as a urethral meatus. Is it clear for everyone? Once again I said, where the sperms are produced in the seminiferous tubules. From here the sperms, where it enters into the tubulus rectus. From here the tubulus rectus into the reed testis. From here the reed testis into the epididymis, where the sperms are stored temporarily. From here the sperms enter into the vas deferens. From vas deferens into the seminal vesicle into the prostate gland, and then into the urethra. Urethra is a common opening to pass the urine as well as to pass the sperm. There is a opening in the urethra that is called as a urethral meatus. Next we are going to learn about the accessory gland. Accessory means what? Additional gland. The first one is a paired seminal vesicle. See the blue color one? Paired seminal vesicle. Paired Cowper's gland. Pink color one. Paired Cowper's gland. It is otherwise known as what? Bulbourethral gland. Say the term. Bulbourethral gland. And a single prostate gland. Yellow color one. It consists of paired seminal vesicle, paired bulbourethral gland, and a single prostate gland. So this seminal vesicle, it secretes alkaline fluid. Which contains sugar, fructose, ascorbic acid, prostaglandins, and a enzyme vesiculase. This enzyme is very important because this vesiculase, it helps in the sperm motility. And then this bulbourethral gland, it is otherwise known as what? Cowper's gland. It's a 1 mark question. What is the other name for the bulbourethral gland? Cowper's gland. This Cowper's gland, it secretes an enzyme which helps in the lubrication of the penis. And the third one is a prostate gland. This prostate gland, it secretes a alkaline fluid which contains a several specific enzymes and then other functions of the enzymes. So what are the accessory gland? Seminal vesicle, Cowper's gland and the prostate gland. Then this seminal semen or seminal fluid, which contains a sperm and the seminal plasma, which contains a sperm and the seminal plasma. This seminal plasma is secreted by the seminal vesicle, Cowper's gland and the prostate gland. So this semen, it acts as a transport medium for the sperm. It nourishes the sperm and then the chemicals which is present in the semen, it helps to protect and activate the sperm and helps in the movement of the sperm. So what are the functions of the seminal fluid? It's a milky white fluid which contains the sperm as well as the seminal plasma. So this semen or seminal fluid which acts as a transport medium for the sperm and then it nourishes the sperm. The chemicals which is present in it, it helps to protect and activate the sperm and helps in the movement of the sperm. Then the penis is a male external genitalia, that is a male reproductive organ, and then it enlarged. The enlarged end of the penis, that is called as a glans penis. The enlarged end of the penis, that is called as a glans penis, and then it is covered by a skin. The penis is covered by a skin that is called as a foreskin or prepuce. That is called as a foreskin or the prepuce. So once again I repeat it here, where the sperms are produced in the seminiferous tubules. The seminiferous tubules are highly coiled tubules that converges to form as a what? Tubulus rectus. See the yellow color, tubulus rectus. From here the sperms are sent into the reed testis, and here the sperms are sent into the reed testis. From here from the reed testis the sperms enter into the epididymis, and here the sperms are stored temporarily, and here the sperms undergoes a physiological maturation, fertilizing capacity as well as the movement. From here the epididymis, the sperms are enter into the vas deferens, and from here the vas deferens into the seminal vesicle, then a seminal vesicle into the prostate gland, seminal vesicle into the prostate gland, and prostate gland into the urethra. Urethra is a male reproductive organ, that is it is a common center for to pass the urine as well as to pass the sperms at the different times. Then there is a opening in the urethra that is called as a urethral meatus. The enlarged end of the penis, that is called as a glans penis, and it is covered by a skin that is called as a foreskin or the prepuce. So what are the glands present in the male reproductive system? That is a paired seminal vesicle, paired prostate gland, and a single prostate gland, and then the paired bulbourethral gland or the Cowper's gland. So this class we learnt about the functions of the reproductive system. What are the major events that takes place in the reproductive system? For what is the first one? Gastrulation, insemination, then cleavage, placentation, then patriation. Then next we'll learn about the male reproductive system, how the sperms are produced and how it is passed. Thank you, children.